Hey there guys, welcome back to AFC Stuff. This is the review of Arsenal's 3-0 victory, 3-0 over Chelsea yesterday. A magnificent performance, and I haven't seen Arsenal play like that emphatically since the 3-0 win over Manchester United this time last year. It was simply the perfect performance. Everything went right. I can't think of one player that had a poor game. Right from Petr Cech, right up to Alexis Sanchez, every single player was, a 9 out of 10. They were magnificent. Everyone working for each other, and the best thing about this game was we simply wanted it more than Chelsea. We wanted this game so much more, and initially I was very sceptical going into the fixture because Chelsea, as we know, I'm happy to admit, well, reluctant to admit that they've had a hold over us for about the past 4 or 5 years, and it was always going to be difficult getting over that mental stumbling block. But you know what? We've done it. We look like a team that were ready to get the win right from minute one, put in a scintillating performance, and I think we've come out with exactly what we deserved. We've dealt with the threat of Diego Costa perfectly. Laurent Koscielny and Mustafi, special mention has to go to them because they were superb at the back. They were like rocks. They dealt with the threat of Costa really well, not just in a physical way, but in a mental way as well. They didn't let him get into their heads. Mustafi, I think this has been his best performance in an Arsenal shirt. He was brilliant right from minute one. He gave Diego Costa a kick, as did Granit Xhaka when he came on. We let him know that we were about. We were sensible in our play. We were demanding. We were confident. And we bullied Chelsea for much of this game. So it was great to see that from Arsenal, and it was great to see leaders on the pitch. On that topic, Laurent Koscielny throughout the course of this season, I think he's worth a notable mention because he's been absolutely outstanding, and it's baffling as to why we didn't give him the armband, because not only is he acting like a leader on the pitch, being vocal, but he's playing like a leader. He's looking like one of our best centre-halves over the past 10 years. He is a truly superb player. And for me, one of the top 3 centre-halves in Europe. I know it's a very bold statement, but the way he's been playing this season, for someone of 31 years of age, that is quite an achievement. I sincerely hope that him and Mustafi can form a partnership for many years to come, because it's a very good defence that we've got there. Hector Bellerin and Monreal, very good as well. The midfield, a lot of people were quizzical over this going into the game because we did start with Coquelin and Cazorla. A lot of people, including myself, wanted to see Granit Xhaka start this game, but I think Wenger got it spot on. Cazorla he went about his game quietly, but he was very efficient in the midfield. Didn't do anything overly exciting, but he kept the game ticking over and was very useful in the middle of the park. Coquelin, on the other hand, was superb for the time that he was on the pitch, and I sincerely hope that he's not damaged his cruciates as is being reported. I hope he hasn't done his ligaments or done what he did last season, because I don't think we can afford to miss him for 2 months. Yes, Granit Xhaka came on and was very good for the time that he was on the pitch, but Coquelin offers something different. He's a completely different player to Granit Xhaka, and I would go as far as saying we did miss him a little bit when he came off, because N'Golo Kante was having a little bit more licence to roam. Chelsea were having a few more breaks going forward, and Coquelin, I thought for the time he was on the pitch, was better than N'Golo Kante. He had a very good game, a very sound game, and he hasn't warranted any of the criticism that's come his way this season, because no matter what you think of him, he's a very useful and very efficient player to have in this Arsenal squad. And to be at Charlton Athletic not too long ago, to be now a regular starter for Arsenal, you've got to give him some plaudits, because he is a fantastic player and has been through the ranks and certainly deserves his place in this Arsenal team and deserves to be ranked amongst some of the better players in our squad. Up front, it was just beautiful football. The way that we're playing at the moment, with Ozil in behind Alex Iwobi, Alexis Sanchez and Theo Walcott, a lot of people don't think that Alexis works in that striking role, and at times it doesn't. When he's playing there, he's being isolated, he's not going to see enough of the ball. He can be frustrating in that role, because we've seen him work so tirelessly on that left-hand side. The one thing we noticed when he did play on that left-hand flank, he was constantly up and down, but now he doesn't need to use that work rate so much. We can use him up top on his own, and he's allowed to focus all his energies on going forward. It's very good because he can interlink with Theo Walcott. Those two interchange constantly throughout the course of the game. As we saw for that second goal, Theo Walcott is more than happy to get into a striking role, and the way those two play, the understanding of each other's game is absolutely superb. But getting into the game itself, it started off incredibly well. We got that early goal through Alexis Sanchez, pinching it off Gary Cahill, who has been rather poor this season. In fact, I'd go as far as saying he's been very poor, but Alexis took advantage of Cahill's mistake, latching onto the loose ball and then slotting it over Thibaut Courtois, who looked very nervous in this game, to make it 1-0 to the Arsenal. And not too long after that, Theo Walcott making it 2-0 with one of the moves of the season. I don't want to rank it up there with the move that we did for Wilshere's goal against Norwich back in 2013, but this was certainly in that bracket of class. It was absolutely superb from Alex Iwobi, who played a 1-2 of Mesut Ozil, turned around and played it into Hector Bellerin, who was very cool, very composed, crossed it into Theo Walcott on a plate for him, and then made it 2-0 to the Arsenal. We had many more chances after that. Unfortunately, we weren't able to capitalise. I think the knock to Coquelin somewhat took the adrenaline out of our game. But we did get a goal shortly before half-time. Mesut Ozil making it 3-0. A goal of completely his own doing. Laurent Koscielny with a forward-thinking pass into the German, who spun N'Golo Kante, played it into Alexis Sanchez, who put it on a plate for Mesut Ozil, who then, with a rather scuffed shot, hit it into the ground. I don't care how it goes in. It was such a beautiful move to make it 3-0. And that second half was all about keeping the game tight. And we did that, and we came out with a clean sheet, 3 goals to the good. And we've now scored 11 goals in our past 3 games. 4 against Hull, 4 against Forest, and 3 against Chelsea. And as much as we were crying out for a world-class striker in the summer, we're scoring a lot of goals this season. So it's a very positive thing looking at our attack. I mean, Iwobi's got 3 assists. Walcott's got 3 goals and an assist. Alexis Sanchez has got 4 goals and 2 assists. Cazorla's got 2 goals, 2 assists. Ozil's contributing with goals. So although we don't have a striker, we do have lots of options. And let's not forget, we've still got Danny Welbeck to come back at Christmas. We've got Olivier Giroud, who came off the bench. We've got Lucas Perez. We've got Oxlade-Chamberlain. We've got Ramsey to come back. All these players that can offer goals in some capacity. So, very exciting time to be an Arsenal fan. Chelsea, on the other hand, as good as we were, they were pretty abysmal. Diego Costa didn't have an inch in this game. As I say, that was mainly down to us dealing with him to an excellent standard. But David Luiz at the back, he does certainly not warrant being the most expensive defender in the history of football, because he is very poor. He is very poor. Had John Terry been involved in this game, then I don't think the scoreline would have been as emphatic in our favour. But yeah, I mean, you cannot argue with that. It was simply one of the best performances I've seen from Arsenal. Heading into that game on Wednesday night, I want to see a couple of changes within the Arsenal squad. I want to see Kieran Gibbs start that game, and I think it's worth giving him, again, another player that's worth a notable mention, because he was immaculate when he came on. Let's not put his performance under the radar, because for 20 minutes he dealt with everything in our own box. He made a cracking goal line clearance. Well, not a goal line clearance, but he cleared the ball in a very dangerous position. He absolutely ruined Ivanovic with a lovely ball over the top of him, which he then latched onto himself. So options in the squad. It is fantastic to be an Arsenal fan at this moment in time, and it's annoying that we couldn't get the deals of Mustafi and Perez done that a little bit sooner, because I do think if we had a little bit more leadership in that game against Liverpool, then we would have been coming out of that game with 3 points. Maybe we would have got something away from home against Leicester, who got turned over 4-1 by Manchester United yesterday. But I still think it's too early to tell where we do stand in this title race. But given what I saw yesterday against a Chelsea side that we've struggled against for a very long time, if we can continue to put in those kind of performances, then it's going to be a very exciting season for us. But we move on to Basel on Wednesday. Very much looking forward to that game. Let me know what you thought of the Chelsea game in the comments box below. Please do drop a like on the video if you have enjoyed it. Subscribe to AFC Stuff for a load of brand new content. And as always, we'll be speaking to you very, very soon.